2 days after surgery, I still couldn't stand for long. Machines beeped rhythmically beside my bed, for fluids dripping slowly, my throat raw from intubation. My phone vibrated, and 85 missed calls flashed on the screen. Then a text from my dad. "We need you right now. Answer immediately." I realized in that moment, the calls weren't about me. They were about something else entirely. "My name is Jane, I'm 22, and I collapsed on stage 2 weeks ago in front of 3,000 people. It was supposed to be the happiest day of my life. My graduation, my valedictorian speech. But instead, it ended in an ambulance ride, panic, and a hospital room filled with strangers. The doctors said I had a brain tumor, urgent surgery needed immediately. They called my parents, and no one answered. 3 days later, when I finally woke up, hooked up to IVs and monitors, the first thing I saw wasn't their worried faces. It was an Instagram post from my sister. Entire family, smiling in front of the Eiffel Tower. Family trip in Paris. Finally, no stress, no drama. I stared at it, blinking, holding my breath. I didn't comment, didn't call. Nothing. 4 weeks before graduation, the first cracks began. I was standing in the kitchen, watching my mom flip through wedding magazines. Not for me, of course, for my older sister Meredith, who had just gotten engaged. "Jane, can you pick up the napkin samples from the printer tomorrow?" Mom didn't look up. "Mom, I have finals." "You'll manage," she interrupted. "You always do. That's been my life. Managing everything. Working 25 hours a week at a coffee shop, juggling a 4.0 GPA, paying my own tuition through scholarships and tips, and somehow still being the family's invisible backbone. Meredith. Every semester, fully funded by our parents, not a single question asked." I tried again. "Mom, I actually wanted to talk about graduation. I need a dress. Maybe we could go shopping this weekend." She glanced up briefly, then back at the magazine. "Sweetie, you're great at finding deals online. I'm sure you'll figure something out. The engagement party is in 2 weeks, and I need to focus on that." "But graduation is mine," I muttered. Her tone sharpened. "Meredith's bringing her fiancé's parents. Everything needs to be perfect." I nodded. I always nodded. Later, folding laundry in my old room, I overheard my mom on the phone with her friend Linda. "Oh, the graduation?" "Yes, she's valedictorian. Can you believe it?" She paused, then laughed lightly. "But honestly, the timing is terrible. Meredith's engagement party is that same week, and that takes priority. Jane understands. She's always so independent." Independent. That's what they called me when they meant forgettable. That night, I called Grandpa Howard, the only person who ever asked how I was, really. "Gracie, I was just thinking about you." His voice warmed something inside me. "Hey, Grandpa. Finals, speech, everything. It's stressful," I said, sinking onto my bed. For 20 minutes, I talked about my thesis, my rewritten speeches, my fear of facing thousands of eyes. "Do you have your dress yet? Shoes? Need anything?" he asked. "I'm fine, Grandpa." "Really?" I said, though his pause told me he didn't believe me. "Your grandmother would be so proud. She always said you had her spirit." "I never met her, Eleanor. But I've seen pictures. Everyone says you look exactly like her." I swallowed hard. My chest loosened slightly. "I'll see you at graduation, Grandpa. Front row. Wouldn't miss it for the world." Then Meredith barged in, dry shampoo in hand. "Jane, did you use mine?" "I can't find it." I covered the phone, shaking my head. "I didn't, Meredith." She rolled her eyes. "Whatever. Congrats on valedictorian, I guess." Grandpa heard everything. He said nothing, but his silence spoke volumes. 1 week before graduation, I was running on 4 hours of sleep, 3 cups of coffee, and pure rage. Finals were done. Thesis submitted. Double shifts at work because rent was due, and I refused to ask for help. They'd use it as ammunition anyway. Jane, I need you home this weekend. The engagement party is Saturday. Help with setup, Mom called while I wiped down tables. I'm working, I said. Call in sick. Meredith needs you. My knuckles turned white around the phone. What about me? Don't be dramatic. One weekend. Your sister only gets engaged once. I hung up, pain flaring behind my eyes. Later, my nose bled uncontrollably for 15 minutes. On the drive home, Meredith texted, "Pick up the napkins. Wear something nice. Tyler's parents will be there. No concern for my health. No thanks. Just orders." Rachel showed up unannounced, Thai food in hand. "You look like death," she said, pushing past me into the kitchen. I forced a smile. "Thanks. Love you too." "When's the last time you slept?" she asked, arms crossed. "I sleep," I lied. "Liar." "I talked to Jamie. You almost passed out yesterday at work." "It's stress," I said. "Family stress, finals." "Jane, you're destroying yourself for people who won't show up to your graduation. Are they coming?" I opened my mouth, closed it. "I didn't know. 4 years. You've worked yourself half to death. They can't even postpone one trip. That's not okay." Her voice softened. "How's your body holding up?" "I'm fine," I said, though I wasn't. That night, I woke at 3 a.m. head pounding. Vision double. Nose bleeding again. Blood pooling in the sink. My reflection. Hollow eyes. Gaunt cheeks. A ghost staring back. Text from Rachel. "If anything happens, call your grandpa. He's the only one who actually cares." I saved his number as my second emergency contact. My first was useless. The engagement party was chaos. 6 hours on my feet. White lights strung across oak trees. 3-tier cake. Guests laughing. Mom and Dad drifting through the crowd, Meredith glowing, glasses of champagne in hand. "Jane does everything around here. Seriously, we don't know what we'd do without her," Meredith announced to Tyler's parents, laughter rippling. "She's going to be a teacher. Can you imagine? Wiping noses for a living." I smiled. My face a mask. I wanted to vanish. Through the window, I saw Mr. Patterson, Grandpa's old colleague, watching quietly. A text from an unknown number. "Your grandfather should know how your family treats you." After everyone left, Mom walked in. "Jane, we're going to Paris. Tyler's treating us to celebrate the engagement." "Paris? When?" "Next Saturday. Flight's Friday night." "Graduation is Saturday, Mom," I said slowly. "I know, sweetie. But you'll be fine. You're independent." Dad nodded silently, agreeing. 3 days before graduation, I lay on my apartment floor, unable to move. Rachel on speakerphone. "They're skipping your graduation for a vacation." "I'm not making excuses. I'm accepting reality," I said. That night, 3 a.m., the worst headache yet. Nose bleeding. I texted Rachel. "I'm fine." I scrolled through old photos, found one of Grandpa and me from Christmas. His smile, my tiny hand in his. I whispered, 3 more days. I can survive 3 more days. 1 day before graduation, Grandpa called while I rehearsed my speech. "Jane, are you ready?" "As ready as I'll ever be. I want to give you something. Grandma left it for you. Before you were born. Promise to wait until graduation." I swallowed, chest tightening. Graduation morning. Head pounding, I received a text from Mom. "Just landed in Paris. Have a great graduation." Selfie attached. Not a word of concern. Rachel drove me to campus, forcing me to eat half a granola bar. 3 bites. My stomach rebelled. Staging area buzzing. Families. Balloons. Proud parents. I tried not to look. Checked my emergency contact form. Added Grandpa as third contact. Felt right. Then I saw him. Grandpa, front row, holding a manila envelope. I waved. Breathing again. Stage manager, you're up in 10 minutes. 3,000 people. Sun blazing. Cap too tight. Microphone gripped. Found Grandpa. Found Rachel. 2 empty seats beside them. Reserved for family. No one claimed them. Thank you all for being here, I began. But the stage tilted. Pain exploded behind my eyes. White hot. Blinding. I saw Grandpa. Horror dawning. Rachel standing. 2 empty seats. Then darkness. When I woke up, I wasn't in my bed. Not even in a room that felt familiar. The sterile scent hit me first. The antiseptic sting. The faint metallic tang of something I couldn't name. Blinking, my eyes adjusted to the harsh hospital lights. Beeping monitors surrounded me like a digital heartbeat chorus. My arms were tethered to 4 lines, 1 in each wrist. My throat felt raw, every breath a rasping whisper. For a moment, I couldn't remember where I was. Then a surge of panic. My legs. Were they under me? Could I move? I tried to sit up. Pain radiated through my skull. My heart slammed against my ribs. My hand shook, fingers brushing the sheets. Jane. Jane, it's okay, said a calm voice from my left. A nurse, mid-30s, with kind eyes and a clipboard. She gently pressed a pillow against my side. Where? I croaked, every word feeling foreign. You had an emergency. Your heart rate spiked, and you collapsed at graduation, she said softly, glancing at the monitor. A doctor will be here soon. Surgery went well, but you need rest. I swallowed. My throat burned. Surgery, brain? The word felt heavy on my tongue. She nodded. Yes, Jane. Tumor. You're stable, but the doctors insisted it had to be removed immediately. You're lucky. Lucky. That word made my stomach twist. Lucky but alone. The next thought hit like a punch. My parents. My phone vibrated on the table, and instinctively, I reached for it. 85 missed calls. Then a string of texts. Most from Mom and Dad, none asking about my health. A single notification from my sister. Family trip is amazing. Wish you were here. I stared. Blinked. My throat tightened. My chest constricted. For a moment, all the air left me. My hand shook as I scrolled through Instagram. Photo after photo, smiling faces, drinks in hand, Eiffel Tower in the background. Not a single word about me. Not even a check-in. I whispered, barely audible. They left me. Rachel's name appeared on the screen. She had been texting constantly. Jane, where are you? I heard. Hospital. Are you okay? I'm on my way. I pressed the call button. Jane. Her voice cracked over the line. I've been so worried. Why didn't anyone tell me sooner? You could've. Rachel, I'm okay, I said, though the truth twisted inside me like a knife. I woke up. You're okay? You collapsed, Jane. You had surgery. I'm coming. Her voice, raw and trembling, made tears sting my eyes. Don't come. It's fine, I whispered. Fine, she repeated sharply. Jane, this is not fine. You're in the hospital and your parents are. Where are they? Where is everyone? I looked at the monitors again. The steady beeping made my head throb. Not here. Nobody's here. There was a pause. Her sigh, heavy, long. Okay. Stay put. I'm going to make sure someone actually checks on you. Don't move. Hours blurred. Nurses came and went. Doctors poked and prodded. Blood pressure, heart rate, neurological checks. Each step, each procedure, felt like a reminder. I survived, but my family didn't. Finally, a doctor appeared. Dr. Singh. Young. Efficient. Calm. His eyes, however, betrayed something. Concern. "Jane, how are we feeling?" he asked gently. "My head hurts. Throat." My voice cracked. He nodded. "You'll have some residual pain, but the tumor is gone. That was the critical part. Now, your recovery is about rest, monitoring, and therapy. Your vitals are excellent. Your surgery was successful." "Thank you," I whispered. Then, almost instinctively, my voice sharpened. "Where are my parents?" He hesitated. "I'm afraid they haven't arrived. You're here alone." The words sank in, heavy and cold. Alone. Rachel finally arrived late afternoon. She stormed in, hands flailing slightly, eyes wide. "Jane." She crouched beside the bed, grabbing my hands. "You could have died. I can't believe they." I flinched slightly. "Don't." "They abandoned you," she continued. "Your own parents, Jane. They didn't even show up." Paris. Seriously. I felt anger and disbelief churn inside me. But also relief. Rachel was here. The first real person to show up. "They left me. While I was..." The words caught in my throat. Rachel hugged me tightly. I know. But hey, you're alive. That's what matters. Everyone else. They're missing out, not you." The next day, I stared at the ceiling, unable to sleep. My room was quiet, punctuated only by the soft beeping of machines. My phone buzzed. Another Instagram post. Mom, Dad, Meredith, and Tyler, laughing on a Seine riverboat. Caption. "Paris nights. Living our best lives." I dropped my phone onto the bed. Rachel was asleep in the chair beside me, exhausted. I clenched my fists, breathing shallow. The rage didn't come in shouts. It came in heavy, silent pulses against my ribs. How could they? After everything? Then, a knock. Hospital staff. A man in his 70s, tall, straight-backed, wearing a neatly pressed suit. My heart skipped. Grandpa Howard. He had arrived quietly, unnoticed, holding a small manila envelope. "Hi, Jane," he said softly. "Grandpa." My voice broke. I tried to sit, but the four slowed me. He smiled, patting my arm. "I came as soon as I could. I'm sorry I wasn't here sooner, but I'm here now." Tears blurred my vision. They didn't come. No one came. He nodded, solemn. "I know, sweetie. And that's their loss. But they won't define your life." He handed me the envelope. "Your grandmother wanted you to have this after graduation. I kept it safe. She knew you'd need it." I hesitated, trembling. Carefully, I opened it. Inside was a small, leather-bound journal. The first page had her neat handwriting. "Jane, my precious. If the world ever turns its back on you, remember, your strength is in your heart, not theirs. Live for yourself, not for approval. I believe in you always." I clutched it. Tears streamed, but they felt different. Sharp, cleansing, defiant. I can't believe they." Grandpa pressed a finger to my lips. "Don't waste energy on them. They chose their path. You choose yours." Over the next week, the recovery was slow, painful, and humbling. Every movement reminded me I'd been through something life-changing. Rachel stayed, bringing meals, helping with exercises, reading the journal aloud when I couldn't focus. "Your grandma was something, wasn't she?" she said one night, paging through it. "She understood me," I whispered, even when no one else did. We laughed at her notes. Quotes, little lessons, even drawings she'd made for a child she never got to see. Every word felt like a lifeline. Then came the moment I dreaded, the phone calls. My parents finally called, separate calls, same script. "We're so sorry, Jane. We didn't know what to do. Are you okay? How's your health?" I answered, calm, measured. I'm okay, I said. Surgery successful. Tumor gone. I survived. Pause. That's good, Mom said. And I wanted to ask, I continued, why you weren't at my graduation? Why you were in Paris instead? Silence. Then, we thought you'd understand. You're independent. You don't need me to abandon you. I finished. The line went quiet. I hung up and felt lighter. Something had shifted. I realized their absence didn't define me. Their choices didn't determine my worth. The next few days were transformative. Grandpa sat by my bed every morning, Rachel visiting after work. I began writing in my grandmother's journal, filling it with my own thoughts, my own stories, my own voice. I read passages aloud, like spells, reclaiming my power. I survived, I whispered. I survived and I will thrive. They left, but I am still here. By the second week, I could stand unassisted. We removed the monitors. I practiced walking down the hallways, each step a declaration. I was more than their neglect, more than their selfishness. I was mine. One evening, Rachel and Grandpa suggested a small celebration in the hospital cafeteria. Cake, coffee, small balloons. Not for them, not for anyone else. For me. To Jane, Grandpa said, raising a styrofoam cup. To Jane, Rachel echoed. I smiled, genuinely, for the first time since the collapse. To me, I said. And I meant it. That night, I closed the journal, knowing the next chapter was mine to write. Alone, yes, but stronger, braver, and unshakably determined. My family had failed me, but I had survived, and that was everything. Moral lessons. This story teaches that true strength often emerges in the absence of those who are supposed to support us. Family or loved ones may fail, abandon, or disappoint, but our worth is not determined by their actions. Resilience, self-reliance, and inner courage are cultivated through adversity, not comfort. It also reminds us that kindness and loyalty, like Rachel's presence or a grandparent's quiet support, can be more meaningful than blood ties alone. Finally, the tale underscores the importance of forgiveness, not necessarily for others, but for ourselves. Releasing anger and reclaiming our power allows us to thrive despite betrayal, neglect, or hardship.